My, oh my, I've got 3 cruise news stories for you today. Starting off with MSC Cruise Lines. Today is Saturday, April 5th, they have opened the world's largest cruise terminal. I'm going to tell you all about some of the exciting new features that you can expect to find at this cruise terminal and how it can make life so much simpler and easier if you're traveling out of Miami. Oh boy, the second cruise news story has to do with a CEO of a very large and reputable company choking a fellow guest aboard a cruise ship and threatening to kill him, all in the nightclub. You really need to hear why this took place. And finally, there has been a 20-year agreement between Princess Cruise Lines and the Port of Galveston. Princess has been sailing out of the Port of Galveston for, that's right, 20 years. But come next year, that agreement is over. Princess is pulling out of Galveston. But the Port of Galveston says there's a brand new cruise line coming. Guess who it is? All this and more, let's swan dive right into it. Hello everyone, it's Cynthia, your host. Welcome back to today's show. Well, on today, I have 3 cruise news stories for you, and let's just jump right into these. We're going to start the first story over in Miami, and we're talking about MSC Cruise Lines. Well, on today, Saturday, April 5th, they have opened the world's largest cruise terminal. This terminal was opened today at the Port of Miami. There was a ribbon cutting ceremony, and all of the bigwigs and dignitaries were in the house. Now, let me tell you about this cruise terminal. This terminal is 492,678 square feet. Oh my gosh, it's huge. It has the ability to serve over 36,000 passengers per day. This massive cruise terminal will handle, of course, MSC cruise ships, as well as Explorer Journeys cruise ships as well. And yes, this cruise terminal has been opened just in time for MSC's Big Beautiful World America, their newest cruise ship, to have their naming ceremony on April 9th and then begin sailing on their inaugural sailings out of Port of Miami. According to the company, this cruise terminal will be the most technologically advanced ever built. The terminal has a fully automated system that is able to handle 27,000 pieces of luggage daily. The terminal has a 6-level parking garage with over 2,400 parking spaces available. It also boasts a covered drop-off zone, so when you are being dropped off, you can be under that shade, as well as a covered path straight to the terminal's main entrance. Another feature is the biometric abilities here, so you can opt to have biometric facial scanning and use one of the 22 e-gates to finalize your boarding process. There are 18 biometric face pods and 22 e-gates to help verify cruisers' identities before embarkation. This terminal is supposed to have some really fantastic green features as well, and 7 curated works of art that were commissioned through the Miami-Dade County Art in Public Places program. I don't know, this sounds pretty exciting to me. This place sounds like it's going to be large, have the capacity to move through lots of people, lots of luggage, and including state-of-the-art equipment that's going to help our embarkation and disembarkation processes go so smoothly. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this port is all about. Are any of you cruising on MSC World America coming soon? Or are any of you about to take an MSC cruise or an Explorer Journeys cruise and you're cruising out of this brand new terminal? I would love to know. And if anyone has seen this terminal, we'd love to hear some discussion about it. Please drop it down in the comments below. Our next cruise story takes us over to Virgin Voyages. We're talking about the Resilient Lady cruise ship. Now, the Resilient Lady was on a cruise about 70 nautical miles from Fort de France, Martinique, when this incident took place in the On the Rocks bar. Now, according to affidavit signed and police records, there was a man on the dance floor dancing barefoot. And this man will be called M.A. The wife of the CEO of First American Financial Corporation, well, she decided to get out on that dance floor herself and didn't necessarily like this guy, M.A., dancing with no shoes on. So she said to him something to the effect of, "Would you please put your shoes on?" Well, Mr. M.A. did not like being told to put on his shoes. Allegedly, he gave her the finger that's like in the middle of your hand and shot off some expletives and told her, mind your business. And the husband, Kenneth D. Giorgio, the CEO, saw what took place and allegedly went up to M.A., grabbed him by the neck and began to choke him and pull him and told him his own set of expletives and then threatened to kill him. Security was, of course, called, and after this incident, Mr. D. Giorgio, he was confined to his room. And then when the ship put into the next port, which was San Juan, Puerto Rico, he then had to leave the ship and was arrested for assault charges. When questioned, D. Giorgio had very little to say, but he does have legal team. The legal team says that he was just protecting his wife, who felt threatened by this M.A., this guy on the floor dancing without any shoes, when he began to hurl these expletives at her. So right now he has been arrested. There is legal counsel, and we're going to see what will take place. This is a serious crime, assault, but we'll see how this pans out. I'm very curious to know, what are your thoughts about this? Have you ever been on a cruise and maybe things got a little out of hand? Not necessarily you, it could have been you, but have you seen something like that get out of hand, or a fight or an altercation, a yelling match? Have you ever seen that? Would you, if you were the young lady going out on the dance floor and you saw this guy out there moving and grooving without the shoes on, would you have said, "Guy, could you put your shoes on?" Or what would you have done? I would really love to know what you would have done in this situation, men and women. If you were out there and this guy was out there, would you say something? Guys, if you saw this man being ugly to your wife, would you have done something? And what would you have done? I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Please drop it down in the comments below. We are at our last cruise news story, but before I get there, I'm going to take this opportunity to invite you to subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you as part of the Right Recipe for Travel family. All you need to do is tap down on that subscribe button. Absolutely free. And if you would like to support the channel, take a look in the description below. There is a part to join our Patreon, or you can become a member. Check out our store, Amazon store, and our spring merchandise store. Of course, if you like the video, please do give it a like, and also tap down on that notification bell. When you tap down on the bell, anytime that we produce a new video, you will be the first to know. Thank you so much to all of our wonderful subscribers, and all of you who are about to become one of our wonderful subscribers. On to the last story. Our last story takes us over to Princess Cruise Lines, and here in my neck of the woods in Texas, we're going down to Galveston. We're talking about the long-standing agreement that Princess Cruise Lines has had with the Port of Galveston. They have been sailing out of the Port of Galveston for 20 years, but that's about to end in 2026. Princess has decided to do something that they're calling their new redeployment program, and they will be leaving Galveston. They will no longer have Princess Cruise Line ships sailing out of the Port of Galveston beginning in 2026. Now, the Port of Galveston says that Princess Cruise Lines, they are welcome if they would ever like to come back and have talks with them, to come back at any time, but they are already looking at a brand new cruise line to cruise out of Galveston. Now, if we take a look at who actually cruises out of the Port of Galveston, we have Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, and Disney Cruise Line. And then MSC Cruise Lines will be here effective in November of this year. So those cruise lines already cruise out of Galveston. Now, of course, there's other cruise lines, but I'm talking about some of the major ones. Well, that leaves only a few. Holland America, Celebrity, Cunard, and Virgin Voyages, to name a few. So thinking about those cruise lines, I started to really wonder, who is this cruise line that they are in talks with? Now, the Port of Galveston said they're not going to release that information until there is actually a deal signed, but that's not going to stop the speculation. I think I know who it is. Any guesses to who you think it might be coming to the Port of Galveston? Well, my thoughts is Celebrity Cruise Line. And it all has to do with the brand new beach club, the brand new Perfect Day at Mexico that is soon to come this way. Now remember, Royal Caribbean is developing the new Royal Beach Club Cozumel experience and a Perfect Day at Mexico private cruise destination in Costa Maya. This will be out here in the Western Caribbean. And if you're out of Galveston doing like the traditional 7-day cruises, these are the areas that you're going to cruise to. So it would just make sense, as Celebrity is a Royal Caribbean brand ship, that it would be Celebrity Cruise Lines to come and then start traveling to their new private island. At least that's my thoughts. I kind of like this idea. We like having choices here in Galveston. We would love for all the cruise lines to sail out here. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but Celebrity Cruise Lines sailing out of Galveston, I think that would be a great idea, and of course fit the bill with this new private island coming. What do you think? Have any of you sailed on Celebrity Cruises? Do you think it would be a good fit to sail out of Galveston? What about all of you Galveston cruisers? Where you at? What do you think? Who would you like to sail out of Galveston? I don't know. I'm pretty excited about what's coming to cruising in general, and of course cruising out of Galveston, my neck of the woods in particular. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please do drop them down in the comments below. Well, that's it for the cruise news. I thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you at the next adventure.